Good day, my dear ones. I hope you're having a tremendous day today, that you are experiencing the joy of life, and you're giving thanks to God for that. I'm out for a morning walk today, and as I'm walking, I'm thinking about what we talked about in our Friday men's morning Bible study this morning, which, by the way, you are always invited to join. I'll put the link and the information with this Facebook post. But we were talking about a passage in Luke chapter 2, a really interesting and dramatic story. It happened 40 days after Jesus was born. Jesus' parents, earthly parents, Joseph and Mary, carried him to the temple courts in order to perform a rite of purification that was mandated by the law of Moses. You find it in the book of Leviticus. And as they were walking into the temple courts that day, there was also an old man there named Simeon. Now, Simeon had been told by God the Holy Spirit that he would not die until he saw the Lord's Messiah. So when Joseph and Mary came into the temple courts with Jesus that day, with all the other people that were there that day, Simeon saw them, and the Holy Spirit whispered into him, "That baby's the one." And so, in a rather dramatic way, he goes up to Joseph and Mary, and he takes hold of the baby Jesus, 40 days old now, and he sings a song. It's called Simeon's Song. That song, Simeon's Song, has been used in the liturgy of the church, in the worship order of the church for centuries. It has a fancy name called Nunc, dimittis, which is the Latin that comes from the first part of the song, to depart in peace. Well, I'm going to tell you what that song says here in a moment, but I want to tell you the place it has in my faith journey. When I was growing up, as a kid, going to church every week, I have to be honest, I was often really bored in worship. I couldn't wait till it was over. But there was a part of the worship service, the liturgy, that I always looked forward to. And it was this part, Simeon's Song, the Nunc dimittis. Now maybe, to be honest, it was because it came near the end of the service, and I knew that once he sang that, I was about ready to be able to get out of there and go on with my day and play football or whatever it is I wanted to do that day. But there's also a compelling combination of the tune and the text that spoke to me. So this is what we would sing, the Simeon Song. Now, it's kind of old language that we sang back in the day, but it would say this. We'd sing this. "Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, according to your word. For mine eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of all people, a light to lighten the Gentiles, and the glory of thy people Israel." For in some way, somehow, when we'd sing that song, I knew even back then, as a boy growing up, that there was a part of that song that spoke about me. It was the part that said, "A light to lighten the Gentiles." Somehow I knew that meant me, because I'm a Gentile. I'm not Jewish. And that way back then, when this old man Simeon took a hold of the baby Jesus, and he's looking at the baby Jesus, and he says, "Mine eyes have seen thy salvation." He's looking at salvation in the flesh, Jesus Christ. And when he said, "A light to lighten the Gentiles," he was speaking about me. Maybe Simeon didn't know that, but God's Spirit knew that. And I would find my place in that song each week. That's about me. Because as a Gentile, salvation has come to me. The light of salvation has come to me through Jesus Christ. And he's come to you as well. I want you to know today that Jesus came for you. Regardless of what you think about yourself, or about God, or about the church, or about religion, regardless of how maybe you've been put off by Christianity or the church, above all that, I want you to know that Jesus came for you, to bring you the light of salvation, eternal salvation through Jesus Christ. So I hope you find some encouragement in that today, that Jesus came for you, to bring you the light of his salvation in Jesus Christ. Rest in that truth today. A light to lighten the Gentiles, to lighten you and your life. Have a great day today.